course, if you are new to the group, welcome. My name is Rose Stein, and I am here to share with you all of my tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, not only personally, but also what works with my clients. So the first time that I did a diet, I was 10 years old and I gained and lost the same 50 pounds 6 times until I finally found some things that work long term, meaning that they work on changing my perception and my beliefs so that I can look at a piece of food, a plate of food, and even a drink and make both conscious as well as unconscious choices to eat just the right amount for my body on this day. Alrighty, so let's get into it. So the thing is, and this is what women come to me. They know that it's something more than the food. They know that they need to do some kind of diet. They know that they need to move their bodies more than just sitting at a computer all day or watching TV. But they also know that there's something else going on, that there's a lack of sobriety, meaning peace of mind, right? To be sober is to have peace of mind. It's not just about alcohol. They've used that for that term, and of course it's fitting, but really to be sober, to have a sober mind means to have soundness of mind, peace of mind. And if you can claim sobriety around food, peace of mind around food, then God bless you, you're probably not in this group. Now, because you know, though, that it's more than just a number. It's more than just what the scale says. It's more than just whatever size clothes that you have on. And for somehow, you know that it's more than just the food, because you've probably lost weight before, right? You've probably been working around this. And for a lot of you, you don't even need to lose any weight. I can't tell you how many people come to me. They still are like, I still need your help. I still need to figure out what's going on. I either lost all of the weight or I don't have a weight issue to begin with, but I cannot claim peace of mind around food. I feel like it is taking up my life, and it is kind of like an obsession. It's distracting me from the things that I really want to do in my life. And or they've got all of these health issues, and it's like, what's up? You know, if 80% of what goes on with our health can be resolved by changing the way that we eat, well, it's sure worth a gosh darn try, wouldn't you say? Okay, so far over this week, we have talked about, and this is day 1. So again, you know how to access that now is go into the media, go into videos, and you can access that day 1. We talked about your big why. And when we get down to the 7 layers deep, now, if you've only gone 4, you need to go 7. There is something just innately powerful about the number 7 and about the idea of just digging deeper than what's comfortable. It's kind of like when you have a gym membership and you get a trainer, right? And like they push you more than you would ever push yourself. Like when your inner dialogue is saying, I've had enough, I want to quit, I'm done. And then you've got this other person yelling louder outside in your face, keep going, one more, keep going, one more. It's kind of like that. That's what happens when we really dig down. You got to dig deep, further than just the weight loss, further than just I want to be healthy. Why would being healthy, how would that change your life? Dig deep. And when we really dig deep and we get to the core of what it is that we want, what our real deep why is, it supercharges our motivation. Motivation is not something that we get from the outside. Motivation is not something that we get from a pair of pants or a number on a scale, although that can help in the short term. But motivation is really an internal thing. It's a mindset thing. It's about digging deep and finding the core of our essence and the fire that burns inside for what it is that we need and want in this life. So day 2, we talked about self-sabotage, and we crushed it. You guys, we crushed our conflicts inside. We really dove deep into the 10 reasons why we shouldn't change, and understanding the flip side of why we shouldn't change. It gives us an opportunity to then yin yang that and create some balance on why we should change, so that we're not flopping back and forth from indulging and just like, who cares, leave me alone, I'll do it after the holidays, or like super control. I gotta control, and I got to be like this, and I can't go anywhere, and I can't do anything, and I got to bring my own stuff, and not really participating in life fully. So we crushed those conflicts and we ended the self-sabotage. Day 3, ladies, we reset your self-talk. And we learned about just how powerful it is and how absolutely necessary it is to bring compassion into the fold, to stop blaming ourselves, to stop shaming ourselves, to get up, right, and do something different. And you know what? It's freaking uncomfortable. It's not comfortable, right? There's a lot of things that we can do to make it easier, to make it softer, to make it more gentler for ourselves, but it is not comfortable to change. If we've been doing something, if we've been thinking a certain way and believing a certain way and having inner dialogue that's been a certain way year after year after year after year after year after year after year, that was only like 4 or 5, if you've been doing it for 50, then it's going to take some time. It's going to take a little bit of effort to acknowledge that the way that it's been is not the way that it has to be. And again, that also goes back to stop blaming ourselves, right? We stop blaming ourselves, we start blaming other people, we stop blaming other people, and we get on with it. Now, day 4, we got intentional with our food. And this really gets down into, again, the compassion, the stopping blaming, but really stopping the shaming, right? This duality, this like, oh, I've been a good girl if I've eaten this. Oh, I've been such a bad girl if I've eaten that. BS. Leave that thinking for the birds or for some other place, some other space, right? When we are intentional with our food, when we have knowledge and understanding and wisdom and a little bit of willingness, and we just keep it simple, we can move forward in a really powerful and positive way. Again, calming the mind, healing the body. And today we're going to talk about that missing link, right? The missing link of how does this all get put together? All right, whoops. I'm going to, there we go, cool. All righty. So let's move down to the next slide. Sorry, I'm just having a little issue here with the slides moving. Cool. So how we do this is we want to make sure that we are redirecting towards success always. Again, it's kind of like if we are in California and we want to go to New York, and we're going to get on an airplane, and we're going to get on that airplane and we're going to go towards New York. Well, it's not one straight line. There's wind, there's other airplanes, there's just natural drift, right? It's the same thing that happens as we have a goal in mind. And it's like, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds, or like whatever the goal is. I want to feel healthy. I want to get off these medications. I want to fit into my clothes again. I want to feel better. I want to get rid of this crazy sugar addiction. We have a goal in mind, and there's just natural things that are going to happen that are going to bring us off course. Well, oftentimes in the dieting mentality, it's like it's all or nothing, right? This is some of that thinking where we crush that self-sabotage because that kind of thinking is just not going to work for us. And if you're in the airplane going, you simply course correct, right? You notice that you're a few degrees off. If you stayed a few degrees off, you would end up in some completely other country. Right? But what happens is you're a couple degrees off, then you course correct, and it takes a little time for you to get back into alignment, right? But it's going to be way less time than if you wait until we're already there, and way less time if you turn around and go back. And that's what we tend to do when we're just on a diet. Oh, well, the diet failed, or oh, well, it's the holidays, or I can't do it anyway, or whatever the inner dialogue is. And instead of just course correcting and keeping going, we land the plane. And some of us go back to the starting point and go, oh, well, I'll go to New York next year. Right? So one of the ways in which we can really bypass the self-sabotage and continue moving forward is redirecting towards success and just course correcting when we get off track. And that requires that we rewire the way that the brain thinks, because you know what? To have a breakthrough, it usually requires first a breakdown. And if you are solo riding through a breakdown, it makes it very challenging to make it to the breakthrough. And what ends up happening is that we end up quitting because it's more comfortable, right? But when you have that kind of accountability and support beyond your husband, beyond your children, beyond your sister, beyond someone who's already in the mix and emotionally attached to you and just loves you and doesn't want you to be in pain, when you have someone that is supporting you in a different kind of way, a group that knows that the pain is necessary to move. The pain is necessary for growth. The pain is the touchstone. Just on the other side of that pain, if you keep going, you get to see the light of day, just like this cute little seed. The seed thinks that it's going to be destroyed as it's growing. And so do us as human beings. It is so scary to grow and to shine. And yet when we have a support and accountability and a plan and somebody and a group of somebodies to help us and support us through, it's like the sunshine drawing us and pulling us towards the light as we break through our breakdown into the life that we're really meant here to live. Because I don't think any woman or man for that matter, but we're the ladies, let's button those jeans group. I don't think any woman was put on this earth to suffer and carry around on her physical body 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds of extra weight on her heart, on her mind, on her soul, or on her body. And I'm not saying that you can't be big and beautiful. I think every single human being on this earth is beautiful, inside and out. I'm not talking about beauty. I'm not talking about worth. I'm not talking about value as a human being. You are valuable. All of us are valuable. All of us have worth. And yet I know the pain of carrying weight around on my heart, on my shoulders, and on my body. And it's not necessary. No, it's not necessary. So there's a couple of different ways in which we can begin to kind of take a step back and access our resources, because you are a genius. You are a total freaking genius. But I got a little chat going on here. I cannot hear you for some reason today. Cannot hear. Well, that would really suck if I was on mute. I think Janice, is there somebody else here who can let me know? You might be muted. I don't know. Let's see here. Jane is like, I can't hear you. Check your mute. I'm just going to say. Well, hopefully my volume is good in the hood. That would be a total bummer, but it looks like on my side, everything is okay. So let me just check one more thing here. No, I think we're good. We can hear you. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. So I'm going to keep going. Jane, you're going to need to check your mute. I've done that before too, where I had the people on mute. I was actually doing an interview. I did HR for a company for online, and I did Zoom interviews. And mine was on mute, and I was like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. We both closed out. I came back in. I was like, oh, just kidding. Okay, so one of the ways in which we can really step back and access the resources that we already have, because we have a genius. You are a genius. You have done so many things really well in your life, a lot of them. Even the gaining the weight actually was a protection in a lot of ways. It was probably fun. There was probably a lot of moments of fun and food and like, who cares, and drinking and, you know, whatever, all of that stuff. And there was probably some moments of sadness and kind of eating our feelings. There's probably a variety, right? And so again, we're not blaming and shaming ourselves for this weight. All we're doing is saying, that's interesting. I am now wanting a different experience. That was fun, and I'm glad that I did it. And now it's ready. I'm ready to move on. So when we're ready to move on, really accessing our own genius and understanding how it is that we work, how it is that we perceive the world, so that we can put the shoes by the door. If you didn't watch that video, I talked about just the simple ways in which we can rearrange our environment to trigger positive responses for ourselves. And one of the things was I wanted to go walking, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was too much effort to go into the other room and get my shoes. But as soon as I put my shoes by the door, it was like, boom, I saw them, it triggered, and I walked right out the door. So this is kind of a cool little worksheet that I put together for you. And I'm going to put it in the chat for everyone who is here live in the meeting. If you want to be live in the meeting, come into this Zoom. The link is just up there. So if you're watching this live, you can zoom in with the link. If the link is not working, use the meeting ID. Just so you know, you can always do that in any Zoom, anywhere. If the link is broken, because sometimes that happens, the last numbers, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think it's like 9 or 10 numbers after that slash, that's the meeting ID. So you can just pop that in there and join us. So I just added a little document. So hopefully you'll be able to access it. If somebody wants to pop in there and click the link and just make sure that it works. It is a way for you to, fill out some little questions and then add up the numbers, and you'll be able to see if you are a more visual learner, or a more kinesthetic learner or a more auditory learner. So obviously visual, you see the world in a particular way. And the way in which you are like initially perceiving and understanding reality is through your visual sense. What do things look like? You see what I mean? That saying right there is going to allow us to communicate on a deeper level because I'm speaking your language. If you're very high visual, it's going to be important for us to communicate if I use those kinds of words. Do you see what I mean? If you're more kinesthetic like myself, I'm more touchy-feely, more into like the feelings and the emotions and how do things make me feel. So when somebody asks me, how do things make me feel? I'm able to access that immediately and give a response. Now, when somebody says, do you see what I mean? It's not like I don't understand what it is that they're saying, but my initial response is, well, no, I mean, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And so auditory is if you're more auditory, then you perceive the world more through sound, right? And so a way to communicate with someone who's more auditory is, do you hear what I'm saying? And you'll start to notice that people use those terms naturally. So they'll let you know what their lead communicating style is without you even having to take this test. You just start to perceive a little bit in the world how people speak, because they speak based on the way in which they perceive the world. So you'll notice that I will often say, do you feel me? Right? Or I feel you on that. Right? And what I mean is, yes, I hear what you're saying. Yes, I see what you mean. But my words are, I feel you on that, because that's the way that I'm perceiving the world more. And so the reason why I give you this little sheet is because it's such powerful information for all of us, because lack of communication and lack of boundaries are some of the things that women like us tend to suffer from, right? Miscommunication and lack of boundaries. And when we are able to communicate with ourselves effectively, right? Our inner dialogue, when we're able to communicate with other people effectively, then we are able to actually feel and sense. You can see that there's my words again. We can really understand and see our boundaries in a more powerful way. And then we have less of the emotional funk left over at the end of the day, which then tends to push us towards wanting to eat. Right? You know, people say, oh, I can do really good in the morning, but by the evening time, by the nighttime, by the time I get home from work, by the time everyone else gets home from work, I'm just exhausted and I don't care. And I'm just hungry, or I end up night eating. Well, a lot of that has to do with depleting our own resources throughout the day and not having proper boundaries set and not having clear communication between us and other people. So it would be really great, ladies, if you wanted to grab that little worksheet, maybe if you can print it out, just go ahead and save the link if you want to as well. All righty, so just in case also that you need to hop off early, I want to make sure that you have access to me. I want to make sure that you have access before you go, because I would hate for you to miss it, for you to schedule a 20-minute free breakthrough call with me. Because again, remember, there oftentimes is a breakdown before we come to a breakthrough. And so I would love to offer you a 20-minute free session with me, a breakthrough session. We're going to talk a little bit more about what that entails, but I just wanted to give you that link so that you can make sure to to schedule your call with me. All right, because really what it is that I want for you is for you to have an amazing husband, just like this man is for Maria. But I want you to have an amazing man that's going to carry around your weight, but then also make you hurry up to take the picture so that he can set it down. Right? This is what I want for you. I want for you to be able to see, to visualize, to really grasp the heaviness that we carry around on our bodies. This is 24 pounds. 24 pounds of butter after Maria had lost 24 pounds of, extra weight on her body, and just really wanted to see, right? Because she's very visual. She wanted to see what it is that actually looks like, on somebody else carrying around. So this call is for you, ladies. If you want a proven system that works, we're going to talk about that. If you're committed to positive changes for yourself, right? The call is for you if you're done being frustrated, right? If it's been enough months, it's been enough years, right? And you're really ready to make that change. This call is for you if you're coachable, right? And that is that's an interesting topic right there. But basically the idea is it's not like you can't have your own opinion or do your own thing or live your own life. Being coachable just means that you're willing to suspend disbelief long enough to follow some direction, right? If you're willing to say, maybe I don't know everything, maybe all my best thinking got me to where I'm now frustrated and searching for something to fix this problem, right? Maybe I don't know it all. This call is also for you if you want that support and accountability. To tell you the truth, not everybody wants it, right? Not everybody wants it. But if you want it, and or if you know that you need it, then it's probably definitely for you. So just so that you have a little understanding about the benefits of my program, is it like, it's a weight loss program? Well, sure. Yes, that is accurate as a statement, but there's a lot of other things that you get when you are knowledgeable about what's really going on with you and for you, and you begin to make those changes. So my clients, they walk away with a proven weight loss plan that works anywhere, anytime, right? So it's not a quick fix. It's not a diet. They walk away with specific strategies on how to maintain their weight. They get accelerated success with hypnotherapy. There's one each week. They learn clear boundaries on what's yours and what's not. My clients feel comfortable in their bodies, little by little, day by day, getting better and better. They are learning how to say yes or no with ease, right? Because it's sometimes appropriate to say yes. And when are those times? And sometimes it's appropriate to say no. And how do we do that with grace and with ease? Right? My clients, they settle into the confidence of their healthy choices. They release the old habits of self-sabotage. They know exactly what to do next, right? There's clarity, which is so important. I think that's one of the huge things that a lot of people come to me with. They're like, there's just so much there's so many options. I don't even know what to do next, right? So knowing what to do next and having real clarity about what you need for your life and works for you. So my clients walk away with more energy and improved health. Every single one of them is talking about the different medications that they're not on anymore, the different symptoms that they don't have anymore. And then, of course, there's typically an improved sex life. There just is, right? So when we clean up our food, our hormones balance, we get back into the groove. And if there's someone that we enjoy and like to have sex with, it's going to improve the sex life, which is something that the husbands really like. They walk away with the little things, knowing that they just don't bother them so much, right? There's that calmness in the mind. There's that health and the vitality in the body. My clients walk away with grocery shopping and meal prep becomes second nature. It becomes just, they're not fighting it anymore. It's not something that you have to do because you've been a bad girl, right? It all of a sudden becomes an act of self-care. And there's not all that inner dialogue and all of that chatter and the frustration that comes along with it. Right? It's the same thing if you were to do it for a child that you love. You wouldn't bitch and moan and complain and call them an idiot and tell them, why do you have to be hungry, you little 2-year-old? Right? We just suck it up and we take care of them when we go on. The inner dialogue is not there when we're coming from a place of love and compassion. My clients learn to cook healthy meals for their families. Right, my clients, they are able to be that good example as well for their loved ones, whether it's their children, their grandchildren, their friends, their family members, their spouses. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what, just briefly, the community. You guys you've seen a lot of these ladies, Margie and Janice and Leslie and Marion and who were a couple of the other ladies that were on? Chani was on yesterday, and Anne. A lot of the ladies have been on in the last week. If you go back and rewatch any of the videos from this week, any of the trainings, a lot of those ladies are already my clients. So you'd be coming into a really full, dense, rich community of people who are just like you. Right? Like just really wanting and needing to be a part of a community. They say that the opposite of any kind of stress or frustration, the addiction, the fear, the roller coaster round and round, the opposite of that is connection. Right? And we can either just kind of, by ourselves, connect with ourselves while we're eating, or we can have the opportunity to connect with other human beings, step outside of the food and get a little bit of help, get a little bit of clarity, and move on with our lives. So part of what you get in my program is on Mondays, we do live learnings. We have a content hub with all of the videos recorded. There's handouts, and there's different sections that we can go through. This is just the first 6 that I grabbed. So we go one by one. It's a very slow, gentle process. We don't jump in with both feet. Right? We're not going to, tomorrow you're going to the gym, you're going to go every day for 3 hours and you're going to only eat, boiled chicken and broccoli, and we're going to do this thing. And then you're going to juice everything for the next 3 weeks. No, none of that. Zero of any of that. That is the opposite. The way in which I have set up this program and the way in which we do it in the Perfect Fit signature program group is we do it slowly and systematically, one step at a time, integrating new habits and patterns and behaviors and beliefs, so that by the time that you get to your ideal weight, all of the changes have been made and it becomes easy then to stay there. That's the difference. You have to become that person. It's like that saying, when I meet my best self, I want it to be like my twin. I don't want it to be a stranger. Right? So those of us that get the weight off really quickly and we don't make any other changes in relationship with food, now you got the weight off. Now you don't have the motivation to actually change your relationship with food. And then you're stuck with, what do I do next? Because the thing that I did to get here to lose the weight is not sustainable. And so of course you're going to go back to the way that it was, because what's the motivation if it's not to lose weight anymore? And so when we do it this way, it is totally transformational. It is a completely different take on the dieting and weight loss industry altogether. It's a twist that is unlike anything else that you've ever done. And of course, then there's the community. There's nothing quite like being surrounded with other women who are on the journey with you, right? Sharing our struggles, sharing our wins, supporting each other. It's powerful. So here's a picture of some of us in the group. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have our coaching calls. It's really the glue. It's the accountability. Now, of course, you got to show up. I mean, I can send out messages and emails and reminders and text messages and instant messages and whatever. But the reality is you do need to show up. And when you show up, look at these beautiful faces smiling. It's so powerful, so wonderful. And when we show up for ourselves, it's like there's a softening of our heart. There's a quieting of the mind. That chitter chatter that's going around trying to figure everything out, it starts to soften, and the compassion starts to move in, and we begin to build connections with other human beings. And then we don't want to eat as much. And then the other days we have a private Facebook group. So even though this one's private, that one is more private, right? There's 1,000 ladies in this group. Hello, all of you. I love you so much. There's 30 of us in the private group. So in that group, you get 24/7 private kick-ass ladies. So the kick ass is a hashtag that I use in my group, and it's stands for keep it compassionate, kind, and simple. And this is where we share what it is that we're doing, right? This is where the accountability also comes in, is sharing in the group and then supporting each other in the group that way. You can see Marian's here. She says, I'm just checking in because I need to externalize some stuff, because bouncing around in my own head, I'm just getting the same old messages and the same old thoughts over and over again. I need to get it out. So she got it out in the loving community, and then she was able to move on with her day and not stuff her face, stuff in the feelings. You also have access to private coaching with me. The first one is complimentary, part of your program. I do find that the group sessions are even more powerful and transformational. So I do like to kind of guide you back to the group sessions, but you do have access to me at a discounted price for private sessions. And then you do get one private session as part of your package as well. So this is it, ladies. This is how I can support you, right? This is my passion and my purpose, and literally why I am on this earth, I have found out. And what happened for me was that I was doing HR, like I told you, for a tech startup company. And there was a couple of different changes that were going on in my life. I had been off of work. Actually, I had gotten laid off. And let me let me see if I can unshare this for a second. There we go. Hey, let me do that view. Perfect. All right. So yeah, I had been really afraid. And I shared this with you guys on the first video. My body and my weight were literally the last things on earth that I ever wanted to talk about with anybody, let alone live in front of a bunch of people that I don't know. And when I got laid off from the tech job, I was really confused and I didn't know what to do. And there was this like sadness in my heart that didn't get solved by losing weight. And it was very lonely. And I had been carrying that around, and it felt like visceral, right? It felt like I was, oh, hey, Jack. I see you, buddy. Good to see you. It felt like it was like keeping me from other people. It was kind of this hidden anger that I felt inside of my chest, just kind of like always. And especially when I had, quote, lost weight, because obviously then you have to change your eating, whatever plan that you're doing, it doesn't matter. Something is different. And I'm not eating addictively anymore. I'm not eating compulsively. The sugar and the flour is out of my life. And yet I still had this like rage. And I didn't know where it came from, and it made me eat. That's probably the reason why I kept gaining that 50 pounds back over and over and over again. There was this sadness, this anger, this rage, and it kept me from other people. It would come out in weird ways, and it was so uncomfortable that then I would eat over it because I didn't want to act that way. And when I ate, it was soothed, and it would kind of quiet a little bit. But then I didn't want to be overweight. It was this it was crazy. And so I was very consistent, and I was doing a lot of work on myself, and I had my own group. I have my own health coach, and I was doing all the things that I'm hopefully inspiring you to do as well. And I still had that. And I remember I talked to one of my friends who's she does energy work, spiritual work. And I told her what was going on. And I'm like, I need some help with this. And she asked me a really important question. And she said, well, is all of that you feel, is it you or is it not you? And I thought about it for a minute. And I know that I've had pieces of that, that were me, right? It's like, oh, I feel shameful about that, or I'm guilty about that, or I wish that wouldn't have happened, or whatever, all of that stuff. But I had done a lot of work on that personal shame. And I said to her, wow, fascinating question. It's not me. It's not me. This, whatever this energy is that I've been carrying around for all of these years, it's not even mine. It's not me. And so that night, I was in, deep prayer and meditation. I released all of that is not me back to wherever it came from. And I refilled my body intentionally. You always got to do that, right? When you take something away, you always got to add something in its place. The universe doesn't like a void, right? You can't just like, oh, I'm just going to take this out. Well, you need to replace it with something, whatever it is. And so I replaced that intentionally, right, with God's presence and God's love and my own spirit and my own soul. And I filled myself up with that. And it was at that moment that I really was able to feel love and joy. Like really, the kind of love that poets write about, the kind of love that is unverbalizable. I don't know if that's a word. Right? And so when I finally felt that kind of peace and love, and the fear and the anger and the rage was gone, I had an inspiration, and the inspiration said, go tell your story. And it was at that moment, I mean, I didn't know what even that meant, right? I didn't know what that meant. I just woke up the next day and it was there, just like in my mind, tell your story, tell your story. And the only one that I could think of is the one that's most prominent in my mind is my weight journey, right? My fear around that, my suffering around it's been the heaviest thing on my shoulders and on my mind. I mean, when I was a little girl, every single birthday, I'd blow out my candles and wish to not be fat when I grew up. That's all I wanted. That's all that I wanted, because I told you that story. I connected my value as a woman, my self-worth, with my weight, which is not true, but that was my experience. And so I jumped on Facebook, just like I am right now, but I just went on my regular profile. It wasn't even a private group with like people who get me and understand. And like, like all of you at least know on some level what it is that I'm talking about. I just went on my profile and I just started talking. I didn't even know what I was talking about, just telling my story as a human being. And there was 2 people that called me immediately, 2 of my friends, like in tears, saying, oh my God, you spoke to me. What is it that you're doing? Like, I want to be a part of this. I get your pain, and I don't want to be in pain like this anymore either. Tell me, how'd you do it? And I went, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I know what I did, but I don't know what I'm doing right now. I guess I'll throw something together for you, And that's how this program, this perfect fit program, came about. This group, ladies, let's button those jeans again. This is my community where I come and I share and I teach and I love on you. And then if you're like, yeah, she's speaking my language, I'm hearing her, I'm seeing what she's putting down, I'm feeling this, right? See how I used all 3 of those, right? Your learning styles. I want that for me as well. I now have a proven system and a proven plan that I've been taking ladies through, and I'd be happy to take you through it as well. Now, when you join my program, I help you release these things, get you off that dieting roller coaster for good. So we rewire and redirect towards success. We retool, right? And the thing is, if I'm still thinking and feeling the same way about food and my body as I did when I gained the 50 pounds, then I'm destined to gain it back. I needed to have a shift, a positive change that I couldn't do it on my own. Right. And when we have that breakthrough just before just after the breakdown, we want someone there to help us and support us and guide us. Now, some of you have gotten everything that you need during these 5 days together. And that's awesome. I love that. If that is you, that's beautiful. And some of you have just begun to realize the need for addressing the subconscious mind. And know that it's much more than just follow this diet and lose weight. I mean, that's That's easy. You could just Google that, right? 10 seconds. You don't need to be here. Right. And for you who refuse to go back on that dieting roller coaster, for you who are committed to your future best self at your ideal weight, whatever that is, right? I have a special offer for you today. Now, I've put the link in the chat to my calendar for a free body breakthrough clarity call with me. Now, during your 20 minutes, we're going to break down exactly what is blocking you. We'll map out a plan for you to get lasting results, which means that you'll walk away knowing exactly how to lose this weight for good. Right? From your body and from your mind, from your shoulders and from your heart. Right? No more wondering if keto might work this time. No more standing at the checkout line, staring at the next new fad magazine on the magazine, the diet, that some celebrity lost 30 pounds in 3 days, right? It's like, maybe I can do that, right? No more searching for something out there to fix the problem. Now, listen, this is not a magic pill. It's not a quick sell. There are changes to be made, and I want to help you create the life and the health that you desire, free of this weight. So I'm just going to go back real quick and just show you, when you do click on that link, it's going to take you to an Acuity page here where you'll be able to schedule. Oh, it says 30 minutes. I think it's 20, but it's fine. Either way, 20, 30 minutes. And then you'll pick a day and a time. You got to pick your time zone, put in your information here. And then and then super simple, you'll be able to add it to your calendar. Make sure that you do that so that you don't forget. I will send you reminder emails. So that's powerful and positive right there. But you can just click that little button and add it to your calendar so that we can get together, me and you, privately, right? You got this. You got this. It is totally possible. I know it's so hard to hope sometimes. It like almost brings me to tears. I mean, I get it. It is so obnoxious to be frustrated and disappointed with yourself over and over again and have little bits of your self-esteem and your self-worth just crumbled, and then trying to it's okay, like trying to affirmation yourself into feeling better so that you don't want to just stay in bed all day. So you know what? You got this. If you relate to anything that it is that I'm saying, I want to just let you know there is a way out of all of that madness. Right? There is a flip side to that coin, and we can do it together. All right. Now, this is me when I finally let somebody help me. It is so worth it. So worth it. You are worth the time and the energy and the effort of change. Okay. So let's see. Oh, Jane made it back. All right. This works. Oh, gotta go. Love the program. You're worth it. Okay. Thanks, Margie. I know Margie popped in every day. Thank you, Margie. She is just, it's been so wonderful. I know I told a little bit of her story yesterday. So if you missed that, you can go back and watch the replay of Margie talking about what it was like when she first joined the program and how scary it was, and just how much she's come out of her shell with the slow, consistent, loving, compassionate guidance that she's gotten in the group. Right? It's not this just like all or nothing. Let's make all these big changes now. Right? So many people are like, well, I got this thing going on, or I'm not going to be able to make it this week, or, there's always something where it's like, it's not going to be perfect, so I can't start now. God bless us. I love us that we all have that like mentality of wanting it to be perfect because we're going to jump in with both feet and just be a different person. And I just want to let you know that ain't how it works. That ain't how it works in real life, and that ain't how it works in my program. Right? So we just take things real slow. We take them one day at a time, exactly where you're at, and we keep moving forward with you through the journey. All right. So yeah, ladies, Janice, Leslie, I think I see What do I see? You're so little. I'm going to make you big. I'm going to make you bigger. Let's do gallery view. There we go. Janice, you're a little bit, there you are. Hey, girl. Do you have any, words of encouragement for any ladies considering scheduling a call with me? You trying to find the unmute?
There.
There you go.
There we go. I'm not computer lit. Just keep track and write things down. And if you need to talk to someone, make arrangement, talk to you or maybe to other people, people that are in the program. Yeah.
It's nice to have each other. I know just on your guys' journey, you've come in, you've done the thing and shown up every week, and then you kind of got distracted with life and other stuff going on, but you kept communication, right? Like you'd still come in and you'd comment on other people's stuff and you'd post some stuff and you'd let me know what was going on. And now you're back being more consistent and asking for a little bit more accountability. Hey guys. What's up, Aaron? How you feeling?
He was apologizing to you.
Sorry.
Oh, I know. We saw you like dancing, half naked, just rocking out.
I do walk around the house naked. That's
No, you don't.
Totally. That's like the joy of Zoom. This is just like and our children are going to look back on this time, right? And our grandchildren and be like, man, remember when the whole world went on Zoom? We all got to see inside of other people's homes. I remember I did a live in the group and I don't know why I wasn't wearing pants, but I was wearing a shirt and I was like, makeup, everything, shirt, nice. But my Zoom on my computer wasn't working. So I had to go live from my phone. Well, that angle is very different. So I was like doing the live and I didn't realize you could totally see my underwear. Oh my God. Somebody commented later. They're like, are you seriously standing there? I can't even take you seriously. I'm like, I know. Sorry. Yeah. The day of Zoom. No problem, Jack. We love you, man. It's all good.
You did a Zoom meeting in her underwear. Here.
Not on purpose, but we've all been there. There's too many of those stories to to be too concerned about it. Awesome.
I feel better now.
Now it feels better. So we're just getting ready to go to Tahoe tomorrow. Yay.
Oh, yay. That's so exciting. Yeah. So Leslie, there might be a couple of ladies on the line or watching live that might be considering the program. Do you maybe have any words of wisdom for them?
That's good support. Rose is there for you all the time. So is everybody else. And no, it's pretty basic as far as what's there to do. You just have to learn how to prep it and not overthink it. So that's a good way to
Yeah.
And stuff. So, and it works. So it takes all the sugar and stuff that out of your system.
Yeah.
And you do feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, you do feel better.
You feel better. And
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Thanks for saying too that it's simple.
it's
Right?
simple.
It's not that complex. We make it complex in our minds, but it's not.
Yeah, I showed it to my doctor. He asked for a copy of it and stuff. He thought it was good and stuff. So, you don't have to go every week and weigh in. You just do your own thing. That's within your own house and stuff. So, but you always have somebody you can reach out to if you need to. And, I did Weight Watchers before and lost weight and stuff, and that was good. But you're still eating stuff that's processed. So, and everything. But I think Rose is the best. So you're in good hands.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. That's so fun. Will you send us a picture from Tahoe?
Yes, I will.
I'm going to make it up there sooner than later. Gosh darn it. It's on the plan. Put it in the calendar. It'll happen.
All right.
All right. Thanks, ladies. Love you.
Okay.
Have fun. All right, Miss Jane, I see you. Oh, Jane's gone. Okay, well, Jane's gone. Jane, I hope that you schedule a meeting with me, a clarity call, right? Little bonus clarity call. We'll get together 20 minutes, get really down into what's going on for you right now and what it is that you need to move forward. So ladies on the replay, check your emails. Make sure that you are opening up your emails from me because I believe tomorrow you will be getting kind of a couple series of emails, and it's going to have that link in there to schedule your free clarity call with me. I want to talk to you. I want to help you. I love you. Talk to you soon.